guys, so it's back to school time, and I went to college a few years ago. I graduated in 2006, but I was actually the class of 2007. I just graduated a semester early, so I like to think that my college days weren't that long ago, but I know that it's been about 5 years now, almost. My undergraduate years were so fun for me, and I wanted to share my experience because I know a lot of girls and guys are going off to college, and you really don't know what to expect. You know, it's a whole new place full of all kinds of surprises and exciting things that are about to come your way. So I want to share the 411 kind of on what you should expect that first year, and also 3 tips that I think will really help you out in getting a good start when you go to college. I don't want to sit here and say my college experience is going to be the same exact thing as yours. You know, everyone's college experience is different and everyone wants to get different things out of it. These are just the things that I think will help you kind of along the way and give you something to think about as you go off on this fabulous journey that we call college. So let's go ahead and jump into the tips that I have for you. So tip number 1, make sure you meet as many people as possible. You're probably going to hear a lot of people say that, but it's so true. And some students that I saw when I was in college didn't really branch out. They maybe met a couple other people and that was pretty much their niche, and that's all they ever did for college, and they never really got out and met a whole bunch of different people. So one of the first things I did my freshman year is I made sure to go to the club fairs that were going on. I'm not sure if your college is going to have that, but my college did. It was basically a fair where you could go and you could mingle with all kinds of different people from all kinds of different clubs and campus activities, and you could pick up information about every single one of them. I decided to narrow it down to a few organizations that I really liked, and I went ahead and I interviewed for them, or I just joined them if that was how it was, if it was an open, joining thing, and I got involved in different clubs that were going on campus. Some of the clubs had to do with my major. I was a business major when I was an undergraduate, and some of them didn't have to do with my major. Some of them were just for fun or were for organizing different activities around the campus, and I really got involved and met a lot of people that way. Another way to meet people is if you're living in the dorms, which I did for my first year. I actually lived in the dorms for 2 more years after my freshman year as an RA because I loved living in the dorms so very much that I decided to work in the dorms, and that was a really good experience also. And an RA, just in case you don't know what an RA is a resident assistant, and it's basically someone who's there on the floor, who's hired to work there, and they help to build a community on their floor and help to make sure people have resources available and get to know each other and all that fun stuff. But my freshman year, I branched out and I started meeting everybody on my floor. So you try to meet as many people as you possibly can, and maybe even suggest activities to your RA. If you have any ideas on how to get out to know your people that are living on your floor, I suggest you go to your RA and tell them exactly what you're thinking so that you can possibly have that event or that idea. Some of the fun things that we did on my floors when I was in college was we would do room tours where we would have a whole night set aside where if people wanted to, they could open their door and everyone could come in and kind of see their different things that they had going on in their room, and that was a really fun way to showcase everyone's style and see kind of how everyone just decorated their room, made it their own kind of little space with their roommate, or whether they were living there by themselves, and it was really fun. And we also had awards, so whoever had the best curtains or whoever had the best bedspread, we gave out awards for all of that fun stuff, and pretty much everyone got an award, so it was really fun. And that was just one idea. And then we would have parties on our floor, nothing bad, just like little Hawaiian themed or 80s themed parties, and they were so much fun. So I suggest you get to do that on your dorm floor. There are pretty much endless possibilities of what you can do in the dorms. As long as you know you're following the rules of your residence hall or your dorm, you'll be just fine. But I definitely suggest coming up with some creative ideas to get to know everyone that's living on your house. You will fall in love with most of the people that are on your floor, and by the end of the school year, those people are like your second family, and you will probably stay in touch with them for the majority of your college career and possibly after. I know that I still keep tabs on a lot of people that lived on my house my freshman year, and on Facebook I can see who's getting married, all those different things, and it's so much fun to just get to know the people that you're living with because you're right there and you're living so close to them. And then the other thing is not just get to know the students, through clubs and organizations and the students on your dorm floor, but also get to know your professors, because you never know when one of those professors will need to write a recommendation for you. Maybe you want to study abroad your sophomore year or something, and you might need a recommendation from a professor. You want to definitely get to know your favorite professors in your classes, and professors, they may be a lot older than you, but they definitely have some interesting things to talk about, and there can be really fun. and you want to get to know as much as possible about them and learn as much as possible from them, and that way you have really good connection from people around the school or in your own college or major that you're doing. Who knows, they may even be a reference for you when you get a job after college. So besides getting to know as many people as possible, which will definitely help you have a fun college experience, the second thing I want to talk about is responsibility. Now, you're going to college for the very first time. You're probably going to be away from your parents for the very first time, and it can be overwhelming. You can be like, oh my gosh, I have all this freedom. What am I going to do with myself? Or you can maybe be one of those people who's like, I don't want to be here. I want to go home. I miss my parents. I miss my sister. You know, whatever the feeling may be. Everyone's going to have that initial feeling most likely when they first get to college. People might not admit it. They might try to put on a front like, I don't miss my family. I love it here. I'm so happy. But inside, they probably are still thinking, wow, I really miss the way my mom used to put cream cheese on my bagels in the morning before I went to high school. And probably people aren't going to admit that to you, but almost everyone's going to be feeling that. But whether or not you feel homesick or you don't feel homesick, the main thing is you're going to be on your own for the very first time. Now, there's a lot of different things that come with that. You're probably going to be really excited and you're going to be ready to party and ready to like maybe go out and do some different things that you probably didn't do at high school. And I was definitely had those feelings when I first got to college. Okay, you know, let's get real here. I kind of thought, okay, I can, you know, drink and my mom's not going to know about it. Or I can go sleep over at my, you know, guy that I'm dating's house and my mom's not going to even ask me about it. She won't even know. And those are definitely things that go through your mind when you first go to college because it's just a brand new experience and you're like an adult for the very first time. But you have to remember that you need to rope those feelings in, and you have to keep in mind that part of being an adult is being able to practice restraint and being able to delay your gratification on certain things. You can't just go off and do like everything you want to do all at once because you're going to get burnt out and other things in your life are going to be struggling, like your grades, or you know, you may not have as much money in your bank account because you went off and partied your money away or went shopping and you know, maxed out your credit cards or whatever. You definitely want to practice some restraint and limit yourself and really step back and think, okay, is this the right decision for me right now? Should I really be doing this, or should I really just go back to my room and study? You know, you really have to think about that because you're going to be free to pretty much do whatever you want to do, and that's a brand new feeling to you. You definitely don't want to do anything that you're going to regret later on in life, and now you have to remember that you're an adult and everything you do will definitely have consequences down the road. You may not feel them right away, but if you do something stupid, you're probably going to have to suffer the consequence of that. So keep that in mind and remember to be a responsible adult when you go off to college and just think twice about doing things before you actually do them. So it's always fun in moderation to go out and do things. It's when you go overboard and it's when you're doing it like several times a week, that's when you probably need to step back and go, should I really be doing this? Okay. Just being an RA when I was a sophomore and junior in college, I actually experienced a lot of freshmen that had this very same idea that college was just their time to party and be free, and before they realized it, they were failing all their classes and they got kicked out because they were on academic probation. I experienced a lot of that when I was an RA, and then I also experienced a lot of having to bust people for having parties in their dorm room, which most colleges are not going to allow you to throw a party with alcohol in your dorm room when you're 18 or 19 years old. So just keep that in mind and be very smart about what you do when you're in college. Everything that you do in college, if you get caught doing it, it will follow you. I've had to unfortunately write up people in the past, which writing up meant basically that we had to document everything that they did and then submit it to my boss, and then they would get in trouble and their parents would find out about it, and it wasn't really a fun thing, and that would stay on their permanent record for their entire college. So definitely don't make any mistakes like that, and just be as responsible as you can and you'll be just fine. My third tip is, so you're at college because you want to get an education, right? Well, hopefully that's one of the main reasons that you decided to go to college, but college is definitely a good time and it's fun and it's going to be one of the best times of your life. I'm not going to lie to you. There's so many good memories I have from college. I really do look back on my college days very, very fondly. They're going to be one of the best times of your life, so keep that in mind. But the other thing that you have to remember is that you're there because you are there for academics. You want to get a good education and you want to be able to get a job after you're done. So your freshman year and then also going into your sophomore year, you know, you're there and it's exciting and it's like your first time away from home and there's just so many new experiences, but you have to remember that you're there because of school. So make sure that you study hard and you get good grades your freshman and sophomore year. because those are going to be probably two of your easiest years. I have talked to time and time again different college students who told me that same thing, that freshman and sophomore year was the easiest years for them. Not that it's easy, but it's less challenging than your junior and senior years, because first off, you come into college and most of the time you're going to be very highly motivated to do a really good job, because if you got into college, then you're probably a pretty good student as it is, and you're going to come in with a bang. You're going to want to read and you're going to want to get A's on your tests and all that good stuff, and that motivation is probably going to carry through to your sophomore year as well. So when you get to your junior and senior year, just like in high school, your junior and senior years, you're pretty much like burnt out for the most part. You're like, I've had so much fun and I've studied so much and I've gotten such good grades that now my junior and senior year I kind of want to just relax, or I want to go get a part-time job and start making some money. You know, there's different things that will happen your junior and senior year, and you may even have an internship or different things will come up. So if you get a strong start when you're in your freshman and sophomore year and you get really good grades and have a really good GPA, it leaves you a lot more leverage to have a little more flexibility, shall we call it, when you're a junior and senior. Because if you get that strong foundation going, if you happen to like maybe get a B minus or a C plus or something when you're a junior or senior, it's really not going to weigh as heavily on your GPA as it would if you start off your first semester freshman year and you're getting all C's. That can really be detrimental to your entire college career. But if you happen to have one rough semester, you know, your junior or senior year, your GPA is pretty much already there and it's already, you know, solidified. So one semester that you kind of slack off a little bit your junior or senior year isn't going to hurt you as much as if you were to do that your freshman and sophomore year. So I hope you guys take that to heart, because I did really, really well my freshman and sophomore years. Not to brag or anything, but I got on the dean's list and I was really, really excited and motivated. And then here comes my junior and senior year and I was like, I'm over this. And I wanted to go on spring break and I wanted to do all these fun things, because when you're junior and senior, you're most likely you're going to be 21 years old and you're going to be legal to go do like way more stuff that you couldn't do when you were 18 and 19 and 20. And so anyway, I had a rough patch my second semester of my junior year, and luckily, since I had, you know, one bad grade in one class, I won't even tell you what the grade was, but anyway, I had one bad grade in one class and it really didn't affect my GPA pretty much at all. It didn't like really make a dent, because I had done so well my freshman and sophomore years that when I got my GPA after that semester, I was like, oh, okay. I still retook that class, by the way, because I was allowed to retake it, and I got a way better grade. But I don't recommend doing that anyway. But if you're going to do it, don't do it your freshman or sophomore year. Get a good start, and you'll make your life a lot easier in the long run. Those are my college tips for you guys. I hope this helped some of you guys out, and if you have any more ideas or questions about college, I would be happy to answer them. And I hope you guys enjoy your college experience as much as I did. So I will talk to you guys later. Bye.